you're in-house, you're probably doing it illegally. You're not accounting for it correctly. If you're using a third party, obviously the challenge is, first of all, 100% of the money is leaving your shop, and then you're having to fight with a claims process. And most shops that I speak to now are like, yeah, we buy the warranty because we know it's the right thing to do, but we don't even file the claims because it's a pain.
Escape the One Man Show podcast.
Every contractor in this room has sold an extended warranty at some point. You sell it, the customer pays up front, and then when they actually need a repair, the manufacturer or the third-party warranty company makes it nearly impossible to use. Low labor rates, denied claims, a processing nightmare. My guest today built a completely different model where the contractor owns the warranty company itself. Today we're breaking down exactly how that works and whether it makes sense for your business. Will, give us your background. How did you end up building a company in the warranty space?
Yeah, hey Derek, thanks for having me on here, man. Background, come from a trades family. My grandfather started painting back in the early 60s and then ended up deciding he could build the house probably better himself. Became a general contractor and then ultimately ended up being a pretty large developer up here. My dad ended up being a custom home builder, and my brother is a builder, and my other brother tried to be an electrician. I think he was maybe a little slow for it, like he just didn't have it, and so he became a plumber. So everyone in my family,
usually the slow ones are plumbers.
Yeah, everyone in my family's in the trades except me. I kind of went a different route, but ultimately, when I started learning the financial benefits and some of the structures that these large companies were using, I had that heart for the trades, and I wanted to bring it back to the trades. And ultimately, that's how Conduit was born. Was we wanted to bring white collar solutions that some of these large companies can take advantage of back to the guys building America.
What problem were you actually trying to solve when you started Conduit? Like what were you trying to solve?
Sure. So it was really unique. Met with some guys. I had a beer with some guys at lunch that they owned an HVAC company, and I was kind of explaining to them that I was in captive insurance and that we did that with some warranties. And they were like, man, why don't you do that for us? We'd love that in the HVAC world. And I was kind of shocked because pretty much every industry in the nation's doing this at this point of any size. And ultimately we found out you could either write direct, which, a lot of legal hurdles. Obviously your team's having to do all the heavy lifting there. No one actually properly accounts for it. State to state, like you're in Florida. People go to jail in Florida, which is kind of crazy. Everyone kind of thinks Florida, like, do what you want to do, man. It's a fun state. You guys have more restrictions on warranties than California or New York.
So like we're talking to contractors here, so we unfortunately have to dumb this stuff down. So, and I'm one of them too. So, hey, I'm just as stupid as everyone. So writing your own policy, explain that to a contractor. What? They decide they want to give an extended labor warranty or a longer labor warranty plan. They take the money themselves, and they're not following regulations. Like, is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. If you're in-house, there's two options. You're either in-house or you're a third party. If you're in-house, you're probably doing it illegally. You're not accounting for it correctly. If you're using a third party, obviously the challenge is, first of all, 100% of the money is leaving your shop, and then you're having to fight with a claims process. And most shops that I speak to now are like, yeah, we buy the warranty because we know it's the right thing to do, but we don't even file the claims because it's a pain.
So that's like JB and Associates we're talking about, right? Extended labor warranty stuff.
Sure, yeah, and there's definitely like a spot for those companies, right? Like I think these third-party warranties, JB, Cool Care, some of the stuff with AIG, I think there's a spot for them. But if your shop's doing over $3 million a year in revenue, it's time to move on. You can keep that money yourself, right? And you can keep it legally, and you can keep it with some tax advantages.
So that's also like, I know some of the manufacturers like Daikin does an extended labor warranty. I'm trying to think who else. I think York does their own. So, realistically, you own your own warranty program. Like, how does a contractor get into that? Because I think that's also like that sounds great, Will, but like, how the hell do I get started with that? Like, is this a big investment? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, sure. So, that was one big thing for me when we got this started up, is we wanted to make it accessible to everyone. And also we want you to focus on what you're good at, which is, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. Like, you do that. We're good at setting up captive insurance. So, for the contractor, the actual lift is really, it's a $5,500 sign-up fee. That's one time. We're going to need about an hour of their time, just 1 hour. And that's filling out forms. Our team pre-fills 99% of the forms. It's just, we need a copy of a driver's license. We need you to sign something here and there. And beyond that, man, it's a really easy lift for the contractor. We wanted it to be super accessible and want you to still continue focusing on what you do.
So I know most contractors listening to this are saying like, hey, what's in it for me? Is the benefit worth the work I got to put into it? So obviously, if you own your own warranty plan, you are keeping most of that money. How much money, like typically, let's say, like give me an example of how much money a contractor might be keeping. And when they see that money, when they get that money, I know you can even invest it. I mean, we use Conduit Warranty because, again, insurance is usually a waste. It's a waste. You never use it. I would love to own all of my own insurance policies for everything because I'm always like, even health insurance, like that money, I'm healthy. I'm almost never using it. If I had taken that money and put it into an investment account, but I can still have coverage for if I ever get hurt, I would love to do it that way. So like, you're basically doing this for the trades, but like, give us an example of like what that money looks like through the chain, like how someone can make money on this, like as an owner.
Yeah. So let's just use like a good round number here. Let's say that they're installing a unit, they're doing a 10-year labor warranty, and they're paying $1,000 for that right now. So if you send $1,000 to Conduit, we have to pay a few fees, premium tax, seating fee. All this is done on your behalf, by the way, full white glove. Your team does nothing. You just purchase the warranty, just like it's a third-party warranty. We get it. Premium tax, seating fee. We have to purchase a backup policy. Your company is too small to operate on its own, so we have to kind of purchase a backup policy to back your insurance company to make this all legal. And then we do take an admin fee, and that's how we keep everybody employed. That's how we have the call center and the attorneys. So with that being said, those fees combined tend to be around 20%. So on $1,000, you're going to have $200 leave, $800 would be deposited into your warranty company. And then that $800 would be invested by our banking partners at Raymond James. Raymond James, if you haven't heard of them, top 5 largest banks in the world. Down in Florida, I think they have a stadium. So they're our banking partners on this. They invest those funds. And then the nice part, Derek, is the only real tax liability on those funds is the investment income, because the $800 itself is insurance premium, so don't have to pay taxes on that as regular income.
So it's a smart way to invest your money. So, okay, so you said $800. Tell me what happens with the $800 next.
Yeah, so as it earns out, obviously it's tax advantaged, right? So that money sits there, it's going to earn. So on a 10-year policy, over the course of 10 years, the risk goes away. You're a smart guy. Over 10 years, what percentage of risk goes away every year?
I'm going to guess
10%.
10%.
Yeah, so 10% is going to go away every year.
Yeah.
So, we're earning out 10% each year. So those funds are going to be freed up, right? And they're going to be moving into a secondary bank account. Once those funds hit that secondary bank account, you can leave it in there. You can continue to invest them in that tax advantage position. If you pull them out, they are taxed as a qualified dividend, which is a 20% tax rate, right? Otherwise, Derek, what most of our guys are doing is there's other vehicles and ways to continue using this long-term and build like long-term wealth for your kids, for your future, for a rainy day fund. A lot of guys are using this for that safety net.
So, I mean, yeah, this is an investment, right? Like you're forcing yourself to invest your money, and again, into a program that you're already spending money on if you're offering extended labor warranties and you own the program. So I know a lot of times contractors get frustrated with these warranty programs. Let's say we buy a Daikin 12-year or 10-year extended labor warranty program. And let's say we try to pull a claim in for refrigeration repair. Now they've got things they don't cover, let's say refrigerant, and there was a labor rate, let's say it's $150 per hour. Like how custom can we get on like, and again, just so everyone knows, we don't pull money out of that because we want that money in there. We want it earning interest. But for the people that need that money, that want to pull a claim, like how customized can you get with situations like that if they did need to pull money out of it?
Yeah, so obviously there's legalities connected to it, right? Like you own an insurance company, we have to adhere to all legalities that any insurance company would have. So anything that's a covered claim is going to get paid. So, you have a lot of control over what's your reimbursement rate, how many hours are you getting reimbursed, because ultimately you own the warranty company, right? So it doesn't make sense for you to abuse it. So we give a lot of freedom to the contractors. We have guidelines that keep everything legal. But, you could have a reimbursement rate from $85 an hour all the way up to $400 per hour. We have guys that are saying, hey, I want to cover labor only, and that's no problem. We just had a shop, they picked up a line that has a 7-year parts warranty on it. They want to extend that out 3 years so that they can offer 10-year parts and labor still. And like that's a warranty we're able to create for them. So, all of this is about just getting the proper contract language put away and then making sure that we're both legal and profitable. And then as long as we check those 2 boxes, we're able to kind of make that happen.
So how long can we make these warranties? I mean, I've heard from you, some people have like a lifetime, some people have a 10, and while we're talking about that, like what can we put a warranty on?
Yeah. So, obviously the easiest type of warranty to write is a labor warranty. It's nice because we're not covering parts, take out a lot of the variables, and really the only person we have to bet on is you and your shop. So, that's kind of the no-brainer there, right? Like that's the bread and butter. Obviously you can pile some parts in there as well, but it gets a little more complex, a little more expensive. As far as warranty goes, man, you got to think anything that you're guaranteeing to a customer. So as a shop, if you're a plumbing shop, you have guys that are going, yeah, like we just replumbed your bathroom. We guarantee it for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, right? those guarantees have risk associated with it. So what my company does is we go in, we analyze that risk, we put a number on what that warranty should cost, and now we're able to move that money into your captive, right? So you can put a warranty on pretty much any service or any type of install work that you're doing at someone's home. We've had some really unique stuff. We've had some high volume drywall companies that we work with. I got a guy that's doing like 8,000 homes a year, and we warranty his work. The other thing, Derek, that really, I don't even think we've talked to you about it, which is kind of crazy because you're one of our clients.
Always growing. You guys are always growing.
Enterprise risk, right? Like you were talking about, you wish that you could have some of these other insurance policies that you're writing. So through some recent acquisitions, we're actually able to provide some of those policies to you as a shop owner, right? So some of this environmental, errors and emissions, reputational risk, which would be a big one for you probably. Even like we're working on, and this is a huge one, like shop liability, general liability. And down the road, we see workers' comp being something that we're able to write.
Once that's live, we're going on board.
Yeah. We're working on all the licensing on that. Obviously, like the barriers to that are significantly greater than writing a labor warranty. But we have a lot of progress there, and I think that's going to be a huge profit center for contractors. But like with this existing vehicle, with what we create, what we form for you, you have the ability to write some of those insurance policies day one.
So again, how long can these policies be, like length?
I mean, as long as you want them to be, right? I discourage people from doing a lifetime because, all right, so we talked about that money hits an account and then it earns out, right? Like it becomes earned premium at some point. If we write a true lifetime warranty, when does that money earn, right? Like when is it free and clear for the actual insurance company? And that's like a question that we have to ask ourselves. And so, ultimately you end up getting into some games there, and it's like, well, maybe we're talking about the expected lifetime of the unit, or, maybe we're talking about the expected lifetime of someone living in a home in this zip code, which is 12 years, right? So ultimately, what I tell people is I don't run it out past like 20 on anything, especially like equipment like an HVAC system. I wouldn't go past like 10, 12 on a mini split. If you're doing some plumbing stuff, right? Like if you're doing like a trenchless repair, I don't have any problem doing 20. I think some of these manufacturers in that world are doing like 100-year warranties on the actual trenchless repair itself. So if you want to back to labor for 20 or 30 years, I've got no problem with that. It's just conceptually, right? Like when do you get to access those funds for you to do what you would like to with them? And the answer to that is once your policy matures, right? So obviously a 5-year policy matures a lot quicker than a 30.
Yeah, I mean, we do exactly what you say. We do, 10-year warranties on our equipment, 10-year labor matching the equipment warranty. Unless it's got a 12, then we'll match it, same for mini splits. So, and it works well for us. Now, differentiate, tell me if I'm wrong here. This is a limited labor warranty, not necessarily an extended labor warranty. Is that correct or is that wrong?
Yeah, no. So you're right. So limited labor warranty, and then the other word you're looking for isn't necessarily extended. It's service contract. So limited warranty is going to be something that comes with a package, right? So you have packages built out in your system. What do you have, like 3, 5, 12?
Yeah, usually we'll give 3 to 5 options to customers, but I got what you're saying. They're packaged together.
Right. Yeah. And so what you do is these limited warranties are just built into those packages. And what that's saying is, Climate Experts in your case is paying for this warranty on behalf of the customer. They're buying it, right? It comes with the package. It's not optional. It can't be added. It can't be taken away. That's a limited warranty. So the example I always use is you go buy a blender at Target, right? It comes with a 5-year warranty on the box. You're probably not going to ask the girl at checkout for a $3 discount if she'll do away with the 5-year warranty. It's part of it, right? However, when you check out, now they're going to also offer you, would you like to have a 7-year warranty for $8 from Allstate? That's actually a service contract. So a service contract is something that can be added or taken away for an additional cost. We do provide those. We don't really recommend them, particularly in the trades, Derek. We just haven't seen a high level of success with the service contract model because the volume's not there, man. Like these sales guys, they use it as the sacrificial lamb on every deal. And it's like, they're at Susie's home and they're like, hey, Susie, you don't really have to worry about buying this extra $1,200 because we're going to take care of you anyways. What if I can just go ahead and cut it out of the deal?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're adding this to a package. It's just included with the package. So you're not having a line item with a warranty with a price on it, which is what they're doing for those service contracts typically, right?
Yep. Yeah. So like your service contract's always an added. It's got to be a line item, right? Legally, it's got to have a new line item. It's got to be something that can be accepted or declined. With this, it's built in. It's actually like a job cost, right? It's no different than a material cost on the job for you. So, that right there makes it significantly easier. And I mean, in my opinion, and there's going to be guys that disagree with this and Obviously, it's just how you want to run your shop, right? Like, I don't see any need to pay anybody commission on this, Derek. Like, if it's part of a package, why would we pay a sales guy a commission on $1,000 warranty that actually the shop itself is eating the cost on? You're not paying them commission on the cost of the equipment. So why would we be paying somebody a commission on this, right? And ultimately, what that creates is it takes something that we're actually doing a value add for the consumer, and you're making non-commissionable gross profit for yourself as the owner on the back end. Now, it's going to take you a while to get it. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? Like, it's insurance, and there's legalities, there's rules to it, but ultimately, you're able to really kind of take advantage of some cool stuff.
So I think a big question for a lot of contractors is, okay, how do I present this to my customers? What's the best way to do this? How do I build value? And we know typically industry standard is 10-year parts, 1-year labor in HVAC. Obviously, plumbing, water heaters have different warranties, but most of the time the labor is 1 year, right? The state of Florida requires you to give a 1-year labor warranty. And, if something breaks, you got to eat that typically. Yeah. So, I mean, I think you even have 1-year labor warranties as well, right? Even though I'd say longer.
Yeah. We offer everything 1 year up to, I think in some states we have a 15-year like labor for some of the HVAC equipment. So like the whole concept here is obviously the economy's tightening up. Like everyone feels it, I think. Everyone knows that like we just came back with 5% inflation. So everyone feels that at the grocery store. Everyone feels it at the gas pump right now for sure. So peace of mind is the single biggest thing that you can provide to a customer right now when they're making a $15,000, $20,000 transaction with your shop, right? I think we're around it so much, Derek, that we forget like this is a big deal for the person, right? We have to put on our customer hat for a second. And it's like this is their maybe third most expensive thing they've ever bought in their life, fourth most expensive, right? Like depending on how many times they've been divorced or whatever. But, you're talking about this is a big expense. So, we go in, we quote 8 jobs a day. And so, like, when we walk in and we tell somebody it's going to be $18,000, like, we don't flinch on saying that number. Meanwhile, the person who's receiving that quote, like, that's a lot, right? So we actually kind of started polling consumers on what was the most important thing that a contractor could provide. And the answer to that question was peace of mind, right? Like they want a service experience, but peace of mind. So, where this separates you from that 1-year guy is like, dude, you do business with us, you're getting a 10-year warranty, right? And it's backed by a real insurance company. And even if I go out of business, you're covered. So like you're protecting your investment, and being able to do that's huge.
Do you really think trades companies are building enough value in these types of programs, like when they're explaining it to the customer?
No. And like, that's one thing, man. And this, like we've done it with your shop. I think like we offer training on this, right? Like let us come in, let's work with your sales team. Let's really learn that pitch because, that allows you to build in more profit, right? Like we all want to raise our average ticket. Right. Every shop wants that. And it's like adding a warranty in there. Sure, there's an added cost, but also, man, you're able to charge more for what you're doing today because you offer peace of mind. Like you separate yourself from chucking a truck. And, so often they come in and it's like, hey, I got the brand, I got the logo, we got the cool trucks, but like, how are you actually separating yourself from the rest of the market? And I mean, I think so many shops try to like race to the bottom on pricing. And like, dude, it's peak season in Florida right now. I'm sure that like it's like prices are great, but like shoulder season hits, dude, people are going to be installing entire systems for $6,000. And like businesses of your caliber, and honestly anybody that's doing a couple million a year in revenue and has a few trucks, they can't do that. Right? They can't do that. So you have to have that value add. And I think that, on the consumer side, that's now going beyond just having a cool logo. I think it's like you actually have to have something tangible to offer the consumer.
People are doing their research. They're throwing everything now into ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. They're taking pictures of your estimate, of your invoice, and they're double checking this stuff. And it's helping them do the research. So if your quotes look exactly the same, and now it's just about the equipment, right? They don't even look at the labor. They're just like equipment for equipment. So I think Will made a great point. Peace of mind, right? How much does peace of mind cost? Well, you have to show them how much it costs. We do something called cost of ownership. So, Will, let's say you install a new HVAC unit, and let's say it costs 15 grand. Most homeowners are expecting them to pay 15 grand and that's it. We know the reality is what's the warranty on this system, right? Like, am I going to have to pay for maintenance? Let's say it comes with a traditional 1-year labor warranty. Let's say in 3 years they have a major refrigeration repair. Do you know what the average refrigeration repair is for a compressor or coil? Will, by chance, just labor with refrigerant?
Just labor with refrigerant?
Yeah, take a guess.
I mean, that's got to be like $600 now.
No, try
No?
3,500 to 4,500.
Oh,
You got 454 refrigerant. You're going to need multiple pounds of that. We're going to need to remove this coil. We're going to need to braze it in. That could be a 4 to 6 hour job. Plus, we need our own materials. Just to make this clear, the manufacturer is not providing the gases we need, the brazing rods. They're not providing the copper fittings. They're not providing all the things we need to do the job. So there's still parts that are needed with that labor that needs to be done that's not included. So there's a cost of ownership with anything you buy in the trades, right? Water heaters, like HVAC systems. And an HVAC system runs, almost 24 hours in Florida. So don't you think that thing's probably going to break in the long run? And you could build value on like, hey, how often does the average repair happen in our area on this system? It could be every 3 to 4 years. And if the average repair, we don't even need to go refrigeration, is $800, show them what they might spend in, the next 10 years of ownership. That just by far paid for that extra you have in there for that warranty, that peace of mind. And we're not even talking about who wants to deal with a broken system that, someone's got to quote them and they got to worry about it. They ripping me off for labor. When you have this labor warranty, you're not worrying about that. So we didn't even talk about the cost of the peace of mind on that side. We just talked about the reality of paying for those repairs.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, I mean, those are great. And like some of the stuff we're training on right now is, this is a fun one, actually. Let's talk about this. This is kind of cool. How many parts do you think are in an HVAC system? Like we're counting nuts and bolts, but how many parts do you think are in an HVAC system?
Individual parts? We're saying screws as well?
Yeah.
I'm going to say probably 100.
So like we're actually getting down into the nuts and bolts here of it. There's like over 1,200.
Holy crap.
Yeah, there's over 1,200. So like one fun question that we've kind of been training people to start asking is like, all right, there's 1,200 parts in an HVAC system. So like, let me ask you a question, Derek. If we install the system at your home and it runs for the next 10 years, 99% problem free, would you consider yourself to be happy? Like that's pretty great, right? Like that's a killer success rate, 90%. What's 1% of 1,200? So if 1% of the parts have any type of a default, you're talking about 12 issues with your system, right? So you start understanding everything that has to go right for you to not have a problem for 10 years. Bro, like you're gonna have something go wrong, right? And so first of all, as the contractor, it's important to have that money set aside to fix that, right? Like you don't need to be eating that, dude. But if you can have that money sitting in an account making you investment income for 8 years before you have a problem, that's a no-brainer. Secondly, as the customer, man, like you start explaining that, like you have that conversation and then they start thinking like, okay, so I can save $1,200 by doing it from this guy, but he doesn't have a warranty. All of a sudden that warranty makes all the sense in the world.
You know what? Think about customer retention too, right? Because you have to think about the lifetime value of a customer. We're so focused on like a job, right? Large organizations or places that grow or very profitable organizations think of lifetime value of the customer, right? Home Depot will let you go in there and refund stuff without a receipt because they want you to be in their store and use that card to buy more. So if you think of lifetime value of the customer, right? If you've got them on this 10-year labor warranty program, do you think they're going to stay with you as a customer and use you for other stuff, Will?
Yeah, dude, it gets you in the ecosystem and it's really cool because every shop, like they're starting to expand, right? Like very few HVAC shops are just solely HVAC now. I feel like they're getting plumbing departments, they're getting electrical departments. And, conceptually, it's like if a customer knows I have a warranty with Derek, I'm calling Derek, right? I'm calling climate experts. And so, I mean, like we're working through even like the marketing side. We really consider ourselves like a sales partner beyond just a warranty provider. So, like one thing we're doing to keep that ecosystem going is like we're writing lifetime capacitor warranties, which I told you I don't like lifetime, right? But like we're doing lifetime capacitor warranties. We're doing 20-year capacitor warranties for people all over the country, and they're attaching this to all of their new installs. Dude, how much is a capacitor? $20?
15, $20, yeah.
Right? And so here's the deal. We know we're going to have to replace it 2 or 3 times over the course of 20 years, but we're okay with that because if Susie knows if there's an issue with her HVAC unit, something on this is warranted for 20 years or lifetime, guess who she's calling? You.
They're calling you.
And, and the other thing, Derek, is like obviously that comes down into training with like your team too, while they're in there. And it's like, hey, most of the time when people have us come out to check their HVAC unit, we go ahead and take a look through the home, just make sure there's nothing else going on. We have plumbing and electrical experts as well. Do you care if we go ahead and, take advantage of us being here today so you're not inconvenienced in the future? Now we're walking through the home, we're checking out the water heater, asking questions. When's the last time you descaled this thing? The answer is never, right? And, ultimately we can hopefully spread out into the home and warranty those goods. And then we have a customer that's locked in across the board.
Well, I just want to make it clear too, like, let's say you don't have other trades and you don't want to add other trades. What do we have that's involved with HVAC, right? We have ductwork. That's an opportunity. We have indoor air quality. We have surge protection. Like, there's corrosion protection on these. So there's a lot of add-ons onto this HVAC system that you're keeping this person a customer. They're calling you for the other things involved, right? We need electric ran to it. It has a line set. So, you put it in and they forgot about you, or there's no reason for them to call. They found a cheaper deal. There's now a reason for them to call you. So, Will, how much do you think the average cost to acquire a customer in HVAC is right now with Google PPC? I want you to just take a guess.
800.
That was actually pretty good. Typically, we're paying anywhere from 150 to 300 per click, and at peak season you're looking at like $1,200, just because again everyone's just trying to attack PPC. And honestly, it's a race to the bottom, right? The only person that is making a bunch of money is Google. And the reason why is because we don't stay in the customer's home. We don't work really hard to stay in the customer's home, right? That is your ideal customer. You are going to have a higher closure rate with them for more services. They already like you. So if you want to spend less on marketing, if you want to double in your growth and you want to have less than a 7% marketing spend, this is the kind of stuff you need. And this is a no-brainer. People understand what a warranty is. And people understand that if this breaks, you're coming out for free to fix it. And I think that's the biggest gap. What we do in the trades is we sell a box. We sell it as cheap as we can because someone else is selling it cheap. We barely make any money, and then we don't stay in the home. And then guess what we do? We hire a marketing company, and they just charge us an enormous amount to get back in that same home. It's literally ridiculous.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. So the customer retention side is huge, right? And like one thing that we do, like even beyond just, all right, let's get them in the ecosystem. Let's let them know there's a warranty now. We keep that customer in our world. Everybody has some type of, I call them cool kid clubs, right? There's some type of a monthly membership or an annual membership that everybody's doing now. So our contract language, it says you have to maintain this system according to the installer's specs, not the manufacturer's specs, the installer's specs, in order for this warranty to stay active. If you're training your team properly, they pitch the value of the warranty, right? They get the customer to buy into the value of the warranty. Now they choose to do business with you. And now we go, hey, by the way, you need to make sure you're properly maintaining the system, because if you don't, all that value that we just built, it can be taken away from you, right? So now there's almost this like, okay, well, how do I keep that? And the answer is so the second thing that customers were looking for in a purchasing process beyond peace of mind was actually convenience. So now we use that convenience pitch with, hey, so you got to maintain the system properly. That means you need to schedule us biannually for visits. We need to be out here making sure filters are changed. We need to be cleaning the coils, et cetera, et cetera. You can either keep up with all that and put it in your calendar and save all those records, or you can go ahead and join the Cool Kid Club today. And now you don't have to worry about that, and we'll take care of everything for you. And now you truly have peace of mind knowing that your system's operating as efficiently as possible, and you're fully covered for 10 years, and you don't have to worry about scheduling anything, keeping up with any records. You're fully protected, right? And like now we're using the warranty as a tool to sell memberships, and everyone's pushing memberships right now because you and I both know like shoulder season rolls around, we're going out and doing those member jobs, and like we have to sign up more people. And one thing that I preach in the shops that I go into, because we do sales training, right? Like when we sign up, I told you we come in, we work with your team. How do we use this to sell more units? Because we only make money on a policy, Derek, if you sell a policy, right? Like we take an admin fee. So for us to get a policy, you got to go sell a box to somebody, right? So as soon as we sign you up as a client, now we're aligned in the way that's like, all right, Derek's my client. How do I help Derek go sell more HVAC systems, right? And I don't think other companies care that much because they're keeping all the premium. We care because we're a volume business. So, we come in and we work with these teams, and like one thing that's crazy to me is and I would challenge everybody listening to this podcast right now. And I'm going to ask you, because I feel like you probably won't have this metric. If you do, I'll be super impressed. What percentage of jobs that you're pitching, and if you're giving away the Cool Kid Club, tell me now, are you giving it away for like 1 year or anything?
We do give a year. Well, it's a different plan though. We have different plans.
Okay. So my question for all these shops is like, what's your penetration rate on Cool Kid Club? Right? Out of 1,000 installs, not what you're giving away, out of 1,000 installs. So like for you, year 2, right? What percentage of jobs stay in the cool kid club?
I'd probably say like maybe 2%.
And I mean, that's national average, I would say. And by the way, everyone also is always guessing that number, just kind of like you did there, right? Like it's like, well, I think it's around, and so I have that conversation with owners probably once a month. They call me and they're like, hey, can you help us with the cool kid club? And I'm like, yeah. What's your penetration rate? What's that number? And they're like, I don't know, it's low. And I'm like, sure, let's get that metric, right? And then let's track it. Like, let's push that with our guys that are out here selling something with somebody as well. How are we helping them win? I mean, it comes down to training, right? It's all just a good education.
Well, I used to charge for it in the first year, but then I learned some people don't really know that they're supposed to do maintenance, right? I have to train them that they need maintenance done. So we give the first year to show them what that experience is like, and then getting back in the home. It's a loss leader. But first of all, you're not making anything on that $49 tune-up anyways. That's a loss leader anyways. That's just to get back in the door. So the first year, I'm training them and showing them how good of a job we do on maintenance, so that when that year's up, they're going on the monthly platinum plan that we have. We call it MVP, a maintenance value plan. So, and again, it's staying in the home. And you're completely right. But we work really hard at that because, marketing costs just skyrocket.
I would challenge you on that, Derek, and say I don't think you need to be taking that as a loss leader, right? I think if you do a good enough job building value on the warranty, and then you explain like also, so now that you have this super valuable thing, you don't want to lose it, right? That was like part of your decision-making process. So to keep it, it's going to cost you $19 a month, right? So like one of my favorite sayings, and I don't know who said it, maybe it was me, is people don't worry about how much something costs as long as all they can think about is how bad they want it, right? So like that's that value, right? And I mean personally, this is me and you talking here. You're as a client and like we're friends, right? Sometimes. I don't think you need to be taking that loss leader.
We don't give them the platinum. So we don't give them the platinum for free. They get something called the gold, and they get pitched the platinum on every single new system sale. And we show them what they lose in that. But I don't want to lose them. I don't want any chance of losing them as a maintenance customer. That's the only reason. So they get a lower level, but that platinum, they are offering the value. Most customers go with the platinum because it's a brand new system. They want to take care of it. So I'm not giving the platinum for free, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's something that we all could work on. I mean, they do it really well at the car dealerships where like they're like hounding you for that,
Well, I mean, that's like my background, right? Like, that.
I know that's your background. I see your slick back hair. It looks nice.
We designed programs nationally for Acura, and I think we have the same haircut. Acura, Harley Davidson, Porsche. Yeah, yours is just shorter. We designed all these programs and these customer experiences for these guys, right? And like, I'm not gonna lie, they're light years ahead of where the trades are. And to be honest, so just so you know, like a little bit more background real quick. Like when I came to my firm, that's what we did. We specialized in automotive, like customer experience, warranty experience, like locking in people into a brand. Like that's what Mercedes wants. That's what Porsche wants. Like you buy a Porsche and you maintain your Porsche at their dealership. You buy Porsche clothing and you show up there to buy a new Porsche in 3 years, and you never ever leave that ecosystem once you get in. And so like warranty is one of their biggest tools. So when I approached my old firm that was doing that in the automotive world and was like, let's take this to the trades, they were kind of like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we don't know about those tradespeople. They're kind of crazy.
Well, and I mean, I maybe had a chip on my shoulder about it because of my family, right? And I was like, well, like I think it's going to be a great thing. I'm going after it, and that's ultimately when Conduit was created, right? But that's the background, and yeah, dude, they do a much better job than the trades, and it's because like they're hammered down on training and they know what that does for their customer.
So something I wanted to talk about that we use as a tool with Conduit is, a lot of the times you have key managers, employees that you want to retain, and you don't want to give them ownership in your business, because again, a lot of them don't want to share the liability and the risk. So what we did is we actually gave a percentage of our B account of Conduit after it leaves all the liability, and we gave them a little percentage in that, and they own shares in it. And that's a way to keep some of those key managers, and you don't have to pay them more and like, oh, I want this enormous salary. I do not believe in paying these people enormous salaries, right? Median salary and then bonus plans for performance. And we give them a percentage in this Conduit program, and it's like they own shares of something that's real. So, I mean, that is a huge opportunity for retaining those key employees. Why don't you talk about that, Will?
Yeah, dude, golden handcuffs. Like, they're always good to have. A pay plan has to check 2 boxes. It's got to be motivational and directional, right? And so I encourage every single owner to like sit down and ask themselves, is the way I'm paying my people both motivational and directional, right? So what you just hit on, like that huge salary, I would say that maybe motivational. Ultimately, like the motivation is going to run out. And then also, like, how can you really guide the direction, right? Like, you need to have metrics that people need to hit. And, this shouldn't be earth-shattering news, but people do what they're paid to do. So, like, if your pay plan isn't both motivational and directional, you're not checking those boxes. That was a little side soapbox there, but I think it's important for people to hear. Golden handcuffs, right? Like, that's a way to be motivational and directional. So you don't want to give away part of your shop. This is a totally separate entity. We set you up a warranty company outside of your shop completely. It's fully separate. When we form that company, we create shares. Super easy for us to do, like what we did for you. We just create a second tier of shares, right? They're just like B shares. So there's A shares and B shares. They're not voting stock, but like what that allows us to do is create stock, true ownership for your management team. But then we can also put laws and rules around those shares when we create them. And it says, like, if George, the manager, sticks with your company and he leaves on good terms in 20 years, he retains his 10% of your reinsurance company. Like, and dude, Derek, better than a lot of people, this can be big numbers, right? Like numbers, this money's just compounding and churning in there. So like it could be 10% of $5 million in 20 years, like easy. And what did you really have to give away for that as the owner? Nothing. And then like George is looking at that when he's thinking about quitting in year 7, and he's like, I don't know, man. Like I bet like there's an extra $100,000 sitting over there that I have access to if I don't leave. So yeah, it's a huge retention tool, and we can write those bylaws of those shares for the benefit of the contractor. It's super easy. It's super customizable. We have a big shop out in the Midwest who put on 3 or 4 of their managers, and their big thing was like, listen, we just started doing 401ks with these managers, like we're helping these guys out, but like these are young folks and we don't want them to tap into this when they're 36, right? So like their shares are tied up based on an age. They have shares, as long as they stay on good terms, they can access it as soon as they hit 50. And some people will hit that earlier than others, but like it's nice for that shop to be able to kind of like meet their specific purpose for those shares, and we can draw that up for you really easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing tool, and we use it here at Climate Experts, so you should definitely check it out for that reason. So can I just choose if I wanted to not pay so much in taxes, throw some money into that? And
No.
No?
No. Our whole goal here is to stay in good terms with the IRS and make sure that we're doing this all legal and above board. So the answer is no.
I tried.
Warranty prices, they're set by actuarials. They're actually legitimate pricing processes, right? It's always fun, Derek. Like, guys are smart. There's good operators out here. We always get that phone call after a few years and they start seeing the benefits of this. And it's like, hey, how do I put more money in here? And the answer is like, we can't really do that, right? Unless your risk is up, right? If you have claims, then it makes sense to put more premium in. But if you're,
Right.
particularly if you're a startup, right? Those first 2 to 4 years, you really aren't expecting a lot of claims anyways. So yeah, it's tough for us just to pile more money in there initially.
And you could choose to not take the money out. I mean, you could put all the money in there you want it and just eat the labor and let that money compound, correct?
Yeah, you could supplement losses. Yeah, that would be called supplementing losses there. Ultimately there has to be some risk involved with this because it is an insurance company, and we have like projected losses, and we work with every shop. We've definitely had some guys that try to lean towards that, and we come in, we explain the legalities of like, hey, like there's claims associated with this. You've been doing this for 4 years. We know you've been to somebody's home. We got to make sure that we're staying in line. And that's where our attorneys and everybody step in and we help and make sure that we're keeping everyone between the mustard and the mayo.
So let me bring up a point that I'm sure a lot of contractors are wondering now. I mean, you're a good-looking dude, a smooth talker. Can we really trust this guy? I mean, are you part of any best practice groups or anyone that's vetted your company that kind of like just add that level of safety for contractors?
Yeah, man, sure. So we've been a Nexstar a strategic partner for 3 years now. That's been a lot of fun. That's actually opened the doors for us. We're working with some of the largest shops in the country. We always have a referral program as well. Like, we live and die off of referrals. Derek, you've done a great job. Obviously we pay for our commercial spot, but outside of that, right, like you introduce us to several people a year, and it's much appreciated, and that's really where we live and die. So yeah, we're best practices. We're part of Nexstar. We're a strategic partner. Becoming a strategic partner in Nexstar was challenging, especially with what we do. But once we kind of passed the smell check there, it was cool because it opened the door. And, this industry, man, it keeps giving, right? Like it's one of the few industries where everyone's so like excited to share something cool that they found. And we've been able to thrive off of that because in other industries, like we're not just in this world, right? We're doing brown and white goods. We have some automotive business. Like we're writing policies for fleets, like large fleets of trucks. This is the only industry I have where like referral business is so consistent because we sign up a shop and every time we sign up one shop, like mentally, we can almost pin 3 more on the board because contractors are going to pick up the phone. They're going to call their friends. They're going to roll it out. So sure, we have that official stamp, but like our real approval ratings have been through Contractors, man.
That's amazing. How long have you been doing it with Contractors? Like, give me an idea of how many you kind of work with so they can see this isn't brand new for you.
Yeah, so signed up our first shop actually in 2019 with my old firm before I left. They ultimately ended up coming over to Conduit once Conduit was a separate thing. So we've been at this for quite some time now, man. What's that, like 7 years? Whoa. Yeah, so 7 years ago is when we got our first HVAC guy written up. This business model has been around since the 70s, just in other industries. Right now, and we've intentionally slow rolled our rollout because Derek, like when you signed up, how long did it take? Like probably 6 months, 8 months, like for us to like properly.
It was a process. I mean, you guys do everything right. So I mean, it was a really cool process. Yeah.
And so, like, what's been cool though is we've honed that process. Like, I push and push and push and push my team to get better every day. Like, I know you do too, right? And it's like, what are we going to do better today than we did yesterday? And that's always my question. Like, what's really cool is, dude, that process, we've gotten that down to like 2 days now. It's crazy. 2 business days. I can get you live. I can have you a full insurance company formed.
Dude, why didn't you have that back then?
Well, you were an early adopter, right? I owe you a steak dinner.
Yeah, you owe me something.
Yeah, it was harder, right? And so it was as we've grown, we've been able to kind of take the brakes off really in the last like 3 months. So we should hit 100 members this year, which is really cool. Right now we have 65 riding. And we handpicked those 65. It was you were one of those guys, but really we lived within the Nexstar network for the first 18 months.
And you said 3 million in revenue or above typically is ideal customer.
Yeah, and we have guys call in, and if it's like $1 million shop, they got a lot of potential. And honestly, I still get to get on a lot of the intro calls. I don't get to get on all of them, but I still get to get on a lot of them. And if it's somebody that kind of passes the smell check and we're like, this has some runway in front of it, let's help these guys out, we'll sign up $1 million shop.
That's nice of you.
Well, we want everyone to have access to it. Derek, here's the deal. Like, it costs some money to get this thing started, and then there's the volume play, right? Like, if you're going to put $6,000 a year in warranties in here,
yeah, you got a lot of processing time. You have people.
There's a $3,500 tax return you got to do at the end of the year, right? And so now, what have you really accomplished? Honestly, somehow you've like lost more money than if you had sent it to JB. So that's where I said earlier, and like I'll say it again, like JB has his place in the industry, and that's probably for that guy that's going to do $5-6 grand a year in warranties. But like we have to have the volume to make it make sense. But if we talk to a young guy that's got stars in his eyes and I like him, we'll sign off on it. I mean, it happens probably once a month. So, but yeah, our ideal customer is $3 million and up.
Yeah, that makes sense to know your customer is. So if a contractor's on the fence about whether it's worth their time, Conduit, signing up, what would you say to them?
If you are writing warranties with a third party, that tells me you already believe in the value of a warranty. And if you have any type of volume with your warranty, it's a no-brainer. Right? Like, why would you send your money elsewhere when you could keep 80% of it in a tax advantage position and also get investment income on those funds, right? Like, it's a no-brainer. Same thing if you're in-housing a warranty, obviously you see the value in a warranty. Why aren't you doing it correctly? You do everything else in your business correct. You're not going to go out and operate without a license. So why are you writing your warranty without a license, right? Like, do it right.
Agree. So what's one of the biggest misconceptions about contractor warranty programs like this? Like, what do you get? I know a lot of people don't quite understand it. I kind of get that as well. A lot of people are like, hey, Derek, let me ask some questions. Like, what are some of the biggest misconceptions around it that we might be able to clear up on this podcast?
Bro, you guys are like in an abusive relationship with your vendors. Like
That's true.
All of the contractors, and by the way, there's some great vendors that we love and we work with really well, but it's so funny to me, man. Like when we make our pitch to contractors, there's always this moment of silence, and then they're like, so we're keeping most of the money. We're like, yeah. And they're like, and it's going to be invested. And we're like, yeah. And they're like, and we keep that too. And I'm like, we always get this. That's too good to be true. Like, and I'm like, no, it's not, man. Like, we're just not greedy. Like, we're just not being greedy on this. I think it comes down to kind of the heart behind it, right? Like, we're a for-profit organization. I tell that to everybody. It's not a secret, right? Like, we make money, but we play the volume game and we just take a small percentage. So yeah, the biggest misconception, I think, is like contractors always feel like there's got to be this catch. There's got to be this like, I gotcha moment. And I'm like, there's not. Like, we have guys that have been doing this for 7 years now, right? Like, call them. We have $50 million shops that have been doing this for 5 years. Like, call them. By the way, they'll pick up the phone for me and say it's great because we go back to that full circle. Contractors love to tell their other contractors when it's doing good. So, as we've expanded, that's gone away a little bit, Derek. But, dude, it's still so funny. Almost every single intro, like, that is what we get. Is like, this just sounds way too good. And I think I told you this, or maybe it was John. It was John Carruthers. You remember John? I've introduced you guys, right?
Yeah,
like West Virginia.
Yeah. West Virginia. Yeah.
I was talking to him the other day, and he had somebody reach out to him, and John's been a client for a long time, and they were like, "Hey, John, is this a scam?"
I get that too, dude. It's a joke.
And he was like, I've been doing it for 5 years now, and I've got a lot of money in this account that I can see with my own two eyes. So if it's a scam, it's a bad one because he's not making that much money, right? And the big thing that I tell other shops, I say, listen, like if you you're concerned about this being scammy, first of all, it's not. It's a 40-year proven method, like it's not. But I get it. You guys have this weird relationship with your vendors, okay? So that's cool. Just ask yourself this question. Would I rather give 100% of money away and then have to fight to claw it back? Or would I rather give away 20% and know that the 80 is sitting in a bank account and I'm not having to worry about it, right? Like, which one of those two sounds like a scam to you?
Obviously,
that's always my
keep the
question.
Money.
Right? Like, I mean, it's
we own that corporation. That's all.
Yeah, we have zero ownership. Derek, we can't even act like we have what's called custodial access. So like we have a licensed insurer that can access those funds to pay you claims. Other than that, like we can't pull that money out. You're 100% the owner of that.
So this is a separate organization than your business. So like if your business gets sued, they can't tap into this. This is a separate organization.
Completely separate. Yeah. This is totally separate from your shop. And that's why we're able to set up those shares differently, like we talked about earlier, right? Those golden handcuffs that we're able to create. Fully separate entity. I mean, and by the way, like you as an individual, you're protected as well, right? So if that's why we buy that backup insurance policy. Let's just say claims were to wipe out your premiums. There's no coming after you, the individual or the shareholders. That backup policy steps in and pays.
I mean, it's funny you said that about like, is this a scam? Because the first time I heard it, it sounded too good to be true as well. Like I heard it from Julian, the president of Nexstar, at one of the regional meetings. He's like, I've got this really good thing. The trade's never had something like this. And I'm like, this just sounds too good to be true. And, once I looked into it, obviously still skeptical. But then Will made a great point. Like, this has been happening in the auto industry for a long time. It just hasn't been there hasn't been a company that has done it in the trades. So, like, that doesn't mean that it's a scam. That just means that we're not smart enough to freaking use this to our advantage, is the truth. And finally, we're starting to get smarter and putting money into our pocket instead of theirs.
Yeah, man. I tell folks, I wish I had invented this. I didn't. Pat Ryan invented it. If you ever want to look up a cool story of like an incredible businessman, look up Pat Ryan. He truly invented the modern warranty. Like he did it. And his family owned a car dealership. So that probably should give you some insight into why car dealerships are so far ahead in the warranty game. Is because the guy that pioneered it, like using it as a value add, making the money, he did that. But their firm just sold, I think, for like $4.1 billion to Assurant. So, no, I didn't invent that. I wish I had. I probably wouldn't be on this podcast right now. I would be on my yacht somewhere, right?
Yeah. You'd be playing golf right now.
100%, man. 100%.
So final questions here. Where do you see this model heading in the next 5 years?
Our expansion, our roadmap is definitely into liability, right? Like workers' comp, other insurance policies for the shop itself, so that you as the contractor are able to actually write some of these policies, hold them in your captive, and then they're backed by a larger insurer. So we're working on all that licensing right now, and that's the roadmap for the future. Everybody I talk to, right, that's a pain point. Is like, man, my insurance goes up every single year. And ultimately, dude, it's because, like in most things, contractors kind of get shafted a bit with insurance. And like what they do is they lump you guys together in a risk pool with the worst of the worst. So like your general liability is based on the actual worst HVAC guy in Florida.
That
And
makes
that's
sense.
what your pricing is based off of.
That's insane.
So, for us conceptually, we're like, well, we have a group of really great contractors and we know what they stand for and who they are. And so, we feel like we're going to be able to offer premiums at a discount and also allow the contractors to share in that underwriting back end profit.
When do you think that's going to launch, hypothetically?
Hypothetically, I think we got probably a 24-month runway on that. Could be a bit earlier, but the licensing and everything on that is pretty challenging.
Understandable. Well, Conduit Warranty is live now, so you need to sign up. Okay, so if you could go back and do one thing differently when you built Conduit, what would it be?
Ooh, dude, great question. I think I would have started asking guys earlier for their feedback on the company, because we had a great product and you were actually one of the first people, and it was unsolicited, by the way. I didn't ask you for shit, and you provided it. Like, we went out to a dinner one night. You remember this, man. Like, you had been writing for probably a year. We were at a show and you were like, Will, how many contractors did you sign up? And I was like, I don't know, like 6 or 8. And like, I was pretty excited about that number. And you were like, wow, that's bullshit. You should have signed up like 40, because I think you have the best product here.
I did
And
say
it's
that.
like the only unique thing on the floor, right? Like,
I did say that.
there's not 50 of you out there. There's one. So like, you suck. Your marketing sucks. Your website sucks. It's all very confusing. Like, dial it in. And, since then we've really, really worked on that. But I think, if I could have changed one thing, it would have been getting contractor feedback earlier, because like, when we started this company, it wasn't Conduit Warranty Solutions. It was Conduit Wealth Creation, right? And it's because truly, Derek, like, you understand it, it's a wealth building tool.
It is.
But like, bro, people thought we did 401k management. I mean, it was very confusing. And I think getting the contractor's point of view quicker once we introduced the products and had people adopt it, like, we should have definitely earlier just been like, hey guys, how would you explain this to your friends? Because, we're getting pretty heady with it and pretty technical.
I mean, I think you didn't want to look gimmicky in the beginning, right? You're like, this is financial, this is money. But here's the thing, like, you're right. Like, people need to understand what you're offering. And I think your branding has really gotten pretty amazing. Like, my team still wears your shirts and your hats, and they, and again, like, you want to wear a company's brand that you believe in, that you're benefiting from. And, my managers are wearing it because they have money in an account that just keeps compounding.
Yeah.
Get your team involved, right? Get them to understand the value. Like, this is, if you're over 3 million and you're not doing this, like, you are just wasting your money. It's insane. Like, this is just money you're already spending, probably, that you're not getting back, like Will said. So any last thoughts, any last feedback?
Yeah, man, I like to tie a lot of stuff back to my family, right? So I was a kid in 08, 09. I'm 33 years old. So I got to see a lot of contractors.
I just said you're pretty old. That's fine. No.
Yeah. So 0809, I was a child. You were probably like already working or whatever.
Yeah, I'm a real grown up. It's fine.
And I got to see a lot of guys that did it right for my grandfather's company kind of go under, and it was because none of the subcontractors, like a lot of these people, no one was helping them. Nobody was saying like, hey, set this money aside here, like let's work on this tax strategy, let's take this mental approach to wealth creation long term. And like, something hard hit like that, and there just wasn't that backstop. And something my granddad used to always say was like, always keep $100 bill folded in your wallet so you never go broke, right? And man, I saw so many guys not have that $100 bill folded up in their pocket, right? Now, ultimately, this program can be that for you, and it's not $100. Hopefully, it's $1 million or $2 million, but it's that thing that you can always kind of have, and it's also allowing guys to build long-term wealth. And then, I'm gonna show this to you. This is on a video, but like no one else will be able to see it. My granddad passed away like 3 years ago, and naturally I was going through his wallet to try to find some money. No, I'm just kidding. His wallet was sitting on the table, and I opened it up, and like in his wallet was actually this $100 bill, and he had it folded up in the back of his wallet when he died. And so I kept it, and it's right here on my desk. And for us, man, that's the vision, that's the dream, that's the mission. It's like, let's fold up those $100 bills for contractors and take care of these guys, because y'all are building America. So like, you deserve to be helped, and you should have a better strategy than buying an F-250 every year at tax time.
You are 100% right. Well, Will, thank you for joining Escape the One Man Show. And we'll see everyone on the next one.
Later, man.
If you're a contractor or a business owner that has questions about their business, call the Escape the One Man Show line at 321-495-7788. Leave your name, company, location, and your question, and I may feature it and answer it on the next episode. Thanks.